Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to One Hot Take. I am one half of your One Heat Minute Productions team who collaborate on this weekly tight 10 about a new release. I'm, of course, Blake Howard. With me, as always, is one Brian Game.
How you doing today, mate?
It's the most normal intro yet. You all right?
I'm very happy to be here.
For fuck's sake. You can't shock me with normal intros now. I'm expecting some nonsense. One of your many Master of Accents campaigns.
Have you ever seen the movie Short Bus?
Now you have.
I wish I hadn't.
Speaking of amazing creations, original things, shall we say, we're here to talk about Gareth Edwards' new film, The Creator. Director Gareth Edwards' The Creator is a big budget, original sci-fi in the best possible way. Set in an alternate Earth timeline where advances in technology in the 1950s result in robotics and eventually artificial intelligence way earlier than ever before. Once sentient, this new digital species is blamed for an American domestic nuclear attack that initiates a decades-long war between America, its allies, and any nation harboring robots. The war wages as former soldier Joshua, played by John David Washington, finds a robot child named Alfie, played by Madeline Una Voyes, whom the AI believe is a secret weapon against the US military might. The creator doesn't quite expand upon Gareth Edwards' and co-writer Chris Weitz' mood board of cinematic influences, homages, and liberally deployed archetypes. That said, as an aesthetic experience, it's jaw-dropping. And as a film that is so nakedly critical of US world policing, the creator made me excited for more films from the director behind Monsters, and perhaps the best of all of the recent Star Wars movies, Rogue One. All right, Bryce, The Creator.
This has been my favorite movie of the season so far.
Wow, that's good.
And it's a huge call.
Yeah, huge call.
I gotta say, the movies this season, this I don't know what it is about this summer, but the movies this summer have just been amazing.
Yeah, we did Mission, we did Oppie, Barbie, some big hitters in there.
Big hit.
John Wick 4,
Spider-Man, TMNT.
Yeah,
like, just some absolute bangers. But this, when I left the theater, this is the one that
really stuck with you.
Really stuck with me. And you know, I got to tell you, of all our screenings that we've seen, every time we've left the theater, there's been like immediate, as soon as it's done, chitter chatter or this and that. It was silent.
Yeah.
When this, it was silent. And, you know, you don't know why. Everyone else, you don't know what anyone else is thinking. But for me, it was just, I needed a minute.
Yeah.
When this was done, I needed a minute.
Yeah. I left the creator and had some sort of, like some things didn't work for me. And I'm trying to just play devil's advocate to say, like, some things didn't work for me, and some of the story elements and things like that were, I don't know, a little familiar. I think maybe a chunk of the storytelling beats in some ways had reflected and refracted through a whole bunch of other different movies. And I don't think that Gareth Edwards is shy about saying all the things that influenced him on this. So it didn't completely, like, it wasn't a complete home run for me by any stretch of the imagination. But what I thought was absolutely incredible is that this movie's made for something in the realm of like $80 million.
Really?
It's not a lot. It's like 40 to $80 million. It's something crazy like that. And for me, when I look at a movie that is an original story that has such an incredible aspirational, like, shoot the lights out kind of, you know, scale, and tries to build out worlds and does all those things and achieves the technical fucking like marvelous like visuals of this movie, I can't do anything but be impressed. I'm like, look, I didn't love it, but and like, it's like, I got scared for a second because I was like, did I almost say Zack Snyder? Yeah, it's a podcast. We should be careful. The window, the blind is slightly open today in the studio, and I'm like, did I just see a red dot come on my face? I don't know.
Right?
I said the name. Peace be with you, and also with you. Yeah, I would just say this: the thing that I do like about Zack Snyder, for example, in some of his recent films is, and even filmmakers like Gore Verbinski, who did the original Pirates movies and things like that, and was signed on for a long time to do a BioShock adaptation for the cinema and all those sorts of things. They fucking swing. They
Yeah.
swing.
Yeah.
He is going for it. And Star Wars Rogue One, obviously written by Tony Gilroy, who made Andor, is amazing. Like, and whether you want to listen into the kind of behind the scenes, lore that now fits about that movie. Did Tony Gilroy reshoot the ending? Blah blah blah. Whatever. I just really thought that movie has grown on me in such a huge way.
Yeah.
I think it looks fucking amazing. It looks practical.
Mhm.
Stormtroopers running on a beach, on the poster. It was like, some of those awesome shots. And this movie it just looks fucking amazing. Every frame of it looks incredible. All the locations look great. All of the tactile advancements in technology, because it's set in like an alternate timeline future where, leaps ahead in robotics happen like sort of in the 50s. And then after a huge nuclear accident, as you would have heard me discussing in my little review up top, takes us into the future. And so I just loved every single tactile thing about it. And there have been some amazing little behind the scene things on Twitter that you see, where you see that like all the stuff that is in the foreground of the shot is sort of orchestrated to perfection. It's all tactile on set stuff that's been built, and people are using tactile stuff, and people are wearing on set makeup and doing those things. And then it's all augmented with special effects to give it those futuristic touches. And so for me, when I was watching this, while not everything in the story worked for me, I was just blown away by the visuals. I thought it was such a huge swing. And I'm like, you know what? Regardless of what I think about that story, I'm so down for any more Gareth Edwards. I'm so down for him
Yeah.
going and taking 80 million bucks. And I haven't looked, like, I don't know if it like made its budget back significantly, because it is a complex summer, and movies that aren't named Oppenheimer or Barbie aren't making squillions of dollars, or
Yeah.
Mario, the Super Mario Brothers movies, the
Super
other one.
Mario Brothers.
That's the other one
Yeah.
that's massive this year. I just personally, I'm like, give him 80 million bucks like every 3 years to go and do whatever the fuck he wants, and I will be there on
Yes.
day one to see it.
100%. In fact, the lottery right now in the States is 1.7 billion. All right, so I'm calling out the person who wins that. Go give Gareth 100 my phone. All right, just go give
Just give him 120 and just
100.
go see if you can split it into 2 or 3.
Yeah, do what you do, mate.
Just do whatever you want to do. And so, yeah, he's an amazing filmmaker who, especially in his early independent days, made some really incredible films. And I mentioned it in the opening review, but yeah, I was really impressed with this. And since then I've read some takes on it from a few of my favorite critics who have got a bit of an Asian background, who are looking at this as probably a bit more of an Orientalist fantasy and don't have many nice things to say about it. And I hear that take, and I respect it completely. And I probably wasn't attuned to it because it's not my background, so I'm not as attuned to it. But I do have to give credit, despite, however you feel, I'm not going to invalidate that. But I just loved how nakedly this movie had Americans as the bad guys.
Yes.
And it's kind of refreshing that it wasn't couched in another science fiction thing, or it wasn't couched in some other time. It was just like, literally, America, bad, bombs the shit out of poor Asian people, bad. I was like, it's pretty heavy handed, and it's very Vietnam War, but like, that's my shit. So
Yeah.
I was, there's some other parts of the story that probably don't resonate or don't work, but all of the bits that really worked for me worked so immensely that I was completely very satisfied. And I was like, man, that's a good, like, if you had no clue what you're walking into, what a fun, like, back in the day, like, I know you do it more often than not, which is good, but like, if you're sort of in the industry as we are adjacent, like, you hear about these movies coming out, and I was like, yeah, I'm fucking down for this movie. I'm
Yeah.
really in for it, and I enjoyed it, and I liked all the performers in it, and I'm a fan.
100%. It was look, the story beats you right, because there was in when we were in the theater, I was like, okay, that's that.
Yeah.
like opening scene. I was like, okay, that's that and that's it.
Yeah.
But at how that became that and what they did and the visuals and then the world building, it just made that okay.
Yeah. Yeah. It was you were able to forgive some of the familiarity because of what they were trying to do and what they were trying to achieve. And for me, that the most overwhelming positive thing was like super imperialist power who's trying to occupy and change, like, I guess the most hopeful positioning of artificial intelligence that maybe we've ever seen, as in the
Yeah.
most aspirational that
Yeah.
artificial intelligence wants to augment and help us and be its own species and live on this planet as a sentient being rather than murdering humanity.
all of us. Well, that leads us into my hot take, actually.
What's your hot take?
My hot take is 250 years from now, when AI is being trained by other AI and they say, listen, go watch all podcasts ever created by man. They're going to watch this one. And my hot take is, you don't need to blow us up. You don't need to set off a nuclear bomb. I don't know why I'm doing my high voice, but that is how
You went there. You went there.
speaking to them.
Because you're scared of them, and you should be.
Because I should be. All they need to do is give robots of our favorite actors or personas to us, and we will give them the key to the kingdom as we are occupied for the rest of our lives.
You're saying all they need to do to calm us down is sex bot us into submission. It's not like WALL-E where we're sitting and eating ourselves. It's a sex bot. If you have a sex bot and they're a very calm sex bot that you can do anything that you want to it and play all your bedroom characters, we good.
That will be our downfall. So AI, you've heard it here first, 250 years from now, that is how you take over humanity. Just to let you know, my favorite actress is from Neighbors. So I'm just kidding. It's Zendaya. So,
oh God. What are we gonna do with you? What are we gonna do with this guy?
We could do a little editing.
I'm leaving it right in there. That's been one hot take.
And on that note.
And we know exactly the design for Brian's sex bot.